I'm Allie Cartwright, and this is Q and Allie, where I empower you to live your best life. Today's Q comes from Allie, and Allie writes, Dear Allie, sometimes people say good vibes only and push this sort of fair weather friend approach. They're only around when I'm healthy, well, and ready to do fun stuff out in the world. I have chronic health issues, and it seems like they want me to positive think myself healed because they can't handle any dips or low points. This pushing a constant hyper-positive attitude with no room for shadows or darkness feels wrong and dangerous. How do I pursue positivity without the trappings of toxic positivity? Thanks, Allie. Okay, Allie. So, the first thing I want to ask for you to think about is, why do we experience challenges? I mean, if you think about it, no one is exempt from this. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how well your needs are met, how loved you are. It doesn't matter how well fed you are. No matter how wonderful your life is, every single one of us has to deal with challenges, right? We have to deal with challenging emotions and things that we don't want to. But why? Why is this? So I'm sure that there are millions of answers that people could give to this, but I believe one of the big, huge reasons for this is because we are here living this life in order to learn and grow. And in order to learn and grow, you have to have a variety of experiences with a broad spectrum of emotions. So this idea that challenging emotions are bad and we shouldn't want them and we should fight against them, it's really sort of actually just creating another challenge in our life, which, hey, it gives us a chance to learn. Because when we fight reality, we are spending extra emotion, extra energy, just trying to change something that we know we're not going to change. We're not even really trying to change it. We're just spending emotional energy wishing it wasn't what we know it is. So it's exhausting. It's super exhausting to fight ourselves and our reality all the time. And you find that the less you actually fight the quote-unquote bad experiences in your life, the easier that they will go for you. And this doesn't mean shutting down and not having emotions. It means really honoring and embracing every single precious thing that you can feel. So, of course, this can be very difficult, especially in the areas of chronic health issues. Talk about emotionally exhausting, as well as physically exhausting, obviously, when your body is fighting itself and you don't know how to make it stop. But my best advice for developing positivity around that specific subject is to get really, really curious. When I was talking about fighting reality, in essence, that's a very harshly judging reality as something that you don't want. And I've found that one of the best ways to step out of a judgmental mindset, which is a very stuck, stagnant sort of mindset, is to get really, really curious about what you're experiencing. Now, I have some chronic health issues as well. I have had issues with fibromyalgia since I was a teenager, and it's very well controlled now, but you know, it can be very, very painful. But I found that flare-ups do not have near the power that they did when I fell into them and railed against the fact that I had to be experiencing them. It was really this, I was putting this extra level of horror into the experience. And now I don't have many issues with flare-ups. It's very well controlled now. But especially with wintertime, I do have a lot more just pain that I have to deal with. Low levels compared to flare-ups. Anyone with fibromyalgia knows what I mean. But one of the ways that I keep myself from falling into flare-ups, I believe, is by getting very, very curious. So, for example, if my neck is being extra painful and I've got nerves just going crazy, reacting, then I'll sit and I'll just really examine, like, what is this physical sensation that my body is telling me is dangerous? Because I know I'm not in any actual physical harm. There's nothing I need to be doing to prevent physical harm from my body with what's going on. So I know it's safe for me to sit and examine it. And I can sit and go, okay, well, I can imagine these nerves doing, going crazy. And sometimes I'll actually visualize the nerves that are just hyper firing, and I'll start to visualize them calming down and settling. And after a while, you'll notice that your body will take these cues and say, oh, those nerves don't need to be firing. They can calm down. And it might not get rid of all the pain, but it's a lot less. So I don't know if that would work with your specific chronic illness. Obviously, you would have to adapt it. But the idea of just getting really, really curious and non-judgmental, it can release so much. And when you get curious, it's a little bit easier to really allow yourself to experience challenging things without attaching that label of bad or must stop experiencing this. And sometimes when you allow yourself to settle into what's happening without this very negative reaction, you discover these beautiful lessons and this beautiful growth for your life experience that can help take you to another level of just amazing growth in happiness and joy. Now, I said happiness. I want to make sure I touch on this. This idea of toxic positivity, it's about always being happy, right? And again, we don't actually want to be happy all the time. We don't. That we will create challenges for ourselves, because if we're only happy, we're bored. And I find that it's a lot healthier attitude to pursue joy. I use the term joy much, much more than I ever use the term happy, because what I want for you is to find the joy in all of your experiences. And joy is not the same as happiness. Joy is when you can value your experience, whether you think that it is positive or negative, good, bad, in between, whatever. If there's value there and you can experience that feeling of value, it really opens your life up to so much joy, because you are able to find gratitude in almost anything. So really, embrace all these challenges. And yes, some of them are going to suck, and sometimes you're going to do better at embracing them than other times. Sometimes you're going to feel snitty, and you know what? That is okay. If that is where you need to be, honor it. Not everything needs to be good. This challenge is just another little ripple in your life experience. It's another thing that is helping your soul have more ability to perceive different information and just grow and grow and grow. So Allie, I hope this helped. I would never ever want anyone to feel like they needed to fake positivity to try to force their body into anything. It's such a misnomer. There are ways to use the mind to help heal the body, but not by fighting against it, ever. Okay? All right. Well, that is that for this episode. If you have a pressing question in your life, trying to figure out how to overcome some obstacle to really step into your own joy, please send your questions to submissions@alliecartwright.com, and you might see your letter on another episode of Q and Allie. Are you signed up for my mailing list? Make sure you hop on alliecartwright.com and enter your email so that you never miss an episode of Q and Allie or any of the other great resources being added all the time. I'm Allie Cartwright. Live fully, laugh lots, and love yourself.